Welcome to another bite-sized explainer from Reconnected Group Africa's Footnotes series. Today we're diving into something that sounds, well, a little complicated, but it's actually a massive opportunity for African businesses. It's called Extended Producer Responsibility, or EPR. And with some amazing insights from founder Tshego Mosiane and environmental lawyer Carlyn Davies, we're going to break down exactly how a European regulation can be flipped into a serious competitive advantage.
So let's start with this quote from Tshego, because it really gets to the heart of it. When you hear new EU regulations, your first thought is probably, oh great, more red tape, right? But what if that's completely the wrong way to look at it? The argument here is that for African entrepreneurs, this isn't a hurdle, it's a huge opportunity. We're not talking about compliance, we're talking about profit. Let's dig in. And let's be real, for most business owners, the first reaction to a three-letter acronym like EPR is a deep sigh. It just feels like another hurdle, another layer of bureaucracy coming out of Europe designed to make life harder. Which brings us to the big question, doesn't it? When these new rules come down the pipeline for things like textiles, packaging, or electronics, are they just a burden? Or is there a hidden opportunity here that African businesses are actually in the perfect position to grab? Is it a barrier? Or is it a key that could unlock whole new markets? That's what we're here to figure out. Okay, so before we get into all the strategy, we have to be on the same page. What is extended producer responsibility? I mean, what problem was it even created to solve in the first place?
At its core, EPR is a pretty radical idea. For literally decades, a company's job was finished the second you bought their product. EPR completely flips that around. Think about the phone in your hand. In the old world, what happens to it when you're done? That's your problem. Under EPR, the company that made it is now on the hook for its entire life cycle, from the drawing board all the way to its disposal. And you can really see the difference here. The old model? That gave us things like fast fashion, cheap to buy, designed to be thrown away, and incredibly wasteful. The EPR model forces companies to think differently. As Carlyn Davies points out, we've actually seen simple versions of this forever. You know, like getting a deposit back when you return a glass soda bottle? Well, just imagine that same idea, but for everything and on a global scale.
Okay, and this is where it gets really, really interesting. Because while all these European companies are now scrambling to build brand new systems to deal with EPR, many African businesses and consumers are already living and breathing these principles. This isn't about learning a new philosophy. It's about putting a name to something that's already being done.
Tshego Mosiane tells this fantastic story about the pine gel tub. You know the joke, you don't buy the pine gel for the cleaner, you buy it for that amazing sturdy tub that you can then use for absolutely everything else. That mindset, where packaging has to have a second, third, or fourth life, that's just baked into the culture. It's not a regulation, it's just how things are done. And that inherent culture of reuse is now a massive, untapped business advantage.
And this quote from Carlyn just nails it. For so many businesses that are built on craft and tradition, sustainability isn't some extra feature they add on at the end. It's the starting point. The very thing EPR is now demanding from the world is already their foundation. So we've established the cultural advantage is there. It's real. But how do you actually turn that into profit? How do you cash in? Okay, let's get into the strategic playbook. Because it's not enough to just be sustainable anymore, you have to be able to prove it. According to Carlyn, the absolute key here is data. It all starts with meticulously recording everything. How much water are you using? What kind of waste are you producing? What's your job turnover? How are you sourcing your raw materials? This isn't just about filling out a form. This data is literally your key to unlocking the entire European market. So, here's the crucial takeaway. Your rigorous data and your transparency, those are your secret weapons. See, European markets often demand these incredibly expensive certifications. But, and this is a big but, if you have the data, if you can prove your process from beginning to end, you can often bypass those costly barriers entirely. Your transparency becomes your passport. And we see this working in the real world with globally successful brands like Mahosa. Their competitive edge isn't just the jaw-dropping design, it's the entire system behind it. And how do they prove it? With the very data we were just talking about. It's the proof behind the beautiful story that gives the brand its power to compete anywhere in the world. All right, so let's boil all of this down into 3 crystal clear takeaways. For any entrepreneur, executive, or investor watching this is your action plan. First, you have to shift your thinking from just compliance to building proactive systems.
Building traceability into your business from day one isn't an expense, it's a strategic investment. It will save you so much money and so many headaches down the line. Plus, it lets you prove your impact with cold, hard numbers, not just fluffy marketing slogans.
Second, and this one is absolutely critical, the data you collect is a valuable asset all by itself. It's not just for a report that sits on a shelf. This data can be used to attract impact investors, unlock special funding, and even become the foundation for entirely new technologies. It has real value, way beyond the product you're selling. And finally, number 3, traceability is your new competitive moat. In a world where consumers are demanding transparency and regulators now require it, being able to trace every single element of your product is a massive, massive advantage. It protects your business. I mean, think about it. What's more valuable than being able to show your customer every single step of their product's journey?
So we'll end with this question for you. This EPR framework, it isn't a threat, it's an invitation. It's an invitation to document the good work you may already be doing, to turn cultural practice into corporate strategy, and to build a truly global competitive advantage. And if you're looking to build these kinds of resilient, future-proof strategies, this is exactly the kind of work Reconnected Group Africa helps businesses with every day. Thanks for watching.